Hey guys, today I'm doing an update on my Pan That palette for the year. Let's just get started and then I'll explain to you what I'm doing. As you can see, there are a lot of palettes here, so we're going to talk about that in just a moment. This is the main focal point of my year. I really wanted to get some progress on this. Let's see if we can get some looks. I mean, if you look at this from certain angles and certain lighting, you can see that I have some dips in there. And guess what, y'all? That pan, completely new. That pan was not there last update, and that's really, really super exciting. I just hit it yesterday. And yeah, I will take it. This palette is difficult to use, especially because I don't love cool tones on myself in the summer. So I really have only been using this shade. And that's an incredibly dark brown, black almost. So yeah, the palette's not the easiest to use, but I'm sticking with it. I wanted to get some use out of it. That's what I'm doing. And that is kind of why I put it in the project. However, I also had this guy in my project, and my goal was to finish on this guy. I wanted to kind of finish this white, and I wanted to finish this. I am not going to repress this. I have already repressed it once. I am not going to repress it again. And this white, I'm just going to say toodles to, because I'm just done with this palette. I want to pull in another palette at this point, and so I have been wanting to depot this palette and put it in my Z palette for a very long time now. That was my deal after I finished these two. So I'm going to depot the shades I want, which are 1, 2, 3, 4. I believe those are the ones. And I'm going to put them in my Z palette, and I'm going to let this palette go. So that's what's going on with this palette, so you won't be seeing updates on it anymore. And then I have decluttered this chocolate bar palette 18 million times, and every time I do it I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to depot some of the shades and I'm going to put it in my Z palette, and I never ever do it. So we're doing it. We're doing it now. I went through all the little X's or the shades I do not like, and that leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to depot those shades. Yes, that's how you say it. And I'm going to put it in my Z palette. And then that's going to be exciting. My plan after that is to add my Z palette into my project pan. Here is my Z palette now. Maybe I will swatch it for you on the next go round, but these shadows here are all from Anastasia. This is from Makeup Forever, and then I will have my new Makeup Forever palette shadows in here. And then we will have, these are ColourPop up here. These are Makeup Geek. This is Laura Mercier and Bobbi Brown. This one is from Sephora, and this one is from Wet n Wild. And yeah, so then I'm going to add this palette in. I've been really into, I think it's because I wish that my Viseart palette was one of the newer ones where you could take the shadows in and out, because that's what I've been wanting to do with my stuff lately. I have been really wanting to use single shadows and make my own palettes, and I just don't want to make a mess out of the palettes that I have. That's just the zone I've been in, and you know, I think we all go through phases and moods. Sometimes I prefer palettes. Lately I've been kind of in that mood, and I also think it's because I'm trying to use up so many products that I'm like, I need to get use out of this. I'm trying to use so many things, but the reality is they're just going to go bad, and I'm going to have to get used to that idea. Yeah, so there we go. That's kind of where I'm moving forward to. It'll be these two. I might either tack on to this video, I'm not sure. I might film myself depotting these. Hopefully it works, we'll see. That should be interesting, because I've never done the metal packaging before. I feel like it will be easier. But I have done one of these before. So I know how to do this. I'm going to try to do the exact same thing for this one, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, so if you guys want to check that video out, it will either be non-existent, or it will be part of this video, or it will be a separate video. Alright, so we're going to play with this palette a little bit today. At one point I thought I wanted to depot it. I've been playing with it since I made that decision, and the only shade I really enjoy in the whole palette is white chocolate. But I got to looking, and it looks like this pops out. Oops. So I thought maybe I would play with the palette, see if I could pop that out. Yeah, just see what happens. The knife was definitely too big. I swear it looked like this would pop out. Okay, it looks like if I want to pop this out of here, I'm actually going to have to depot it like I had originally planned. So we're going to try that method now. Alright, so what we have going on here is a frying pan, a piece of parchment paper, and the two palettes that I want to depot inside. This has been my favorite method so far. It's been the easiest. It's pretty fast. It's easy to clean up. Anyways, so and I just have the heat turned on to medium, and basically we're just waiting on the palette to kind of start loosening up and popping the shades out. Of course you couldn't see that, but this is a shade I'm actually going to get rid of, so. But I don't know if you can see how easy that's popping out. So I know that palette's done. Oh yeah, that one's done too. Okay, I'm going to take these off. Okay, so this did actually get a little bit warm, but not super warm. I'm going to do a practice shade. Just be sure you don't touch the glue in the bag. Alright, so these are in this tray. This is the shadow I want. Of course, this isn't going to work well for me, is it? Alright, well that was a total fail. Okay, so I wanted to wrap up my depotting fail, kind of a fail. Makeup Forever palettes. These shadows are now in their homes in the Z palette. Lottie-Loo. So the smoke that we saw rising from the pan was because this was melting on the back. Important to know, because whether you are going to depot with a straightener or with a hairdryer, you may melt the plastic off the back. A lot of cardboard is coated in plastic. So there you go. So those weren't a fail, but the chocolate bar palette was complete. I'm done with it. I pulled this out just to see. I kind of thought about maybe trying to reuse this palette for something, but no, it's just, I'm not messing with it. I'm done. I pulled the insert out just to see what was underneath, and there we go. I was going to depot milk chocolate. That was the only shade I decided that was worth keeping. And I was just sort of crumbling it, and I gave up, and I'm going to throw this in the trash. I did manage to get cherry cordial out with no problem, but I don't want cherry cordial because I don't like the shadow. I was originally going to keep these guys here and this guy here, but after using them, I used them last week in some looks, and I felt like by the end of the day they didn't maintain their original application. Like I would pack them on the lid and make them kind of shiny and shimmery, and by the end of the day they really just looked like mattes almost, and they kind of got muddy. These aren't my favorite shadows. We're letting this palette go. I thought you might like to enjoy seeing my how not to depot eyeshadows. And there you go. That's why I don't depot very many eyeshadows, because it makes a mess. Now I have a mess to clean up. No big deal. But anyways, thank you guys for watching so much. I appreciate you hanging out with me and watching me just fail sometimes. And yeah, I will see you guys again soon. Bye!